Oh. Yes!
So I'm gonna head back to Firelink and take a rest. And the Depths is a really nice quick section with a boss that I used to hate before I learned more about Dark Souls. And now I kind of like him. He's just the epitome of like a Dark Souls chonkster. You don't really have an excuse for getting killed by him once you understand the gist of it. When you're first playing through the game, it seems, man, this boss has, like, an absurd amount of health. I'm doing very little damage, and this is just taking forever. And if he hits you, it does actually hurt very hard. Or hurt quite a bit, rather. Hurt very hard. He hits very hard. It hurts quite a bit. So we want to head down there and fight with that blacksmith guy. We do have to be reasonably careful about these torch hollows. They have some very rude attack patterns. Torch hollows are always like a moment away from using this incredibly ridiculous like torch rush attack that just has no mercy and will give you the worst time. Yeah, thank you, Wall. That's cool. I didn't need to attack the dog. Okay, here's Butcher Man. Real shout out to today's MVP, That Bench. Why am I getting a leap every single time I R2? Wait, is the R2 always a leap? I'm not pressing forward. Oh, huh. Okay. Is that just a two-handed thing? Weird. Alright. So we need the contents of this chest. Excuse me. Take that. That's the large ember that will allow us to get better weapon upgrades later. So after that, we crumble on through here, which is like a little bit of an inobvious place to go, but it's pretty cool. We pop over here. We jump down on top of this big rat. The plunging attack mostly kills him, and then we just finish him off with a basic slap. Now, we are not in the rudest part of the depths just yet, because this room does not have any slimes that are going to land on us. Grab the sewer chamber key. I don't even remember what this is good for. And then we slide down here on the left side. So long as we stick to the left, we won't fall down the middle. And then we're in this room, which we can mostly run across. We do have to check the ceiling. There's one ceiling ooze that can fall on us. We come over into here, which I would love to be safe entirely, but it's only mostly safe because, like, one or more of these rats will take notice of you and try to give you a bad time. I've seen speed strats that make use of crystal weapons to get a neat boost, but they're not playing as Pyromancer, and they are allowed to level up their character. The drawback of crystal weapons is that you cannot repair them, and in exchange, they are, like, substantially more powerful than regular weapons. We're just gonna get 2 slaps and then walk around so we don't get hit by his trample attack. We're gonna come back over here and slap his tail. Now, upstairs, there is a dude who's gonna shoot us with some magic. Oh, that's a tail swipe, actually. Haha! Oops. Got killed by the tail swipe. So that's actually a really long run back, too, so that's a bummer. So this boss has very meaningful, like, hit location vulnerabilities. His most vulnerable spot is this little head nubbin, which you can see we're doing about 350 damage on hit at that spot. Whereas at the tail, we're doing 207. So this time I'm only going to take about 2 hits, then I'm going to back up a bit. The Channeler's like right up there. He does have a harder time hitting us if we're not, if we're in this back half of the arena. So we want to bait this head slam maneuver again and again, and watch out for everything else the boss can do. And mostly about this boss, we're just going to manage the arena and not stay too close to him for pretty much the entire time. which is maybe a little boring, but it's the right way to fight him, like almost objectively so. He's got really nasty grab attacks. He doesn't take a lot of damage. If you're fighting this guy with an under-upgraded one-hander and a shield, he just feels, and you're trying to fight him like face-to-face, like, I'm shield man, I fight face-to-face, it feels awful. Because that attack hits a nice amount of space, and it's not really a great opening to go after him on. It's also a grab attack that does a ton of damage. So I need to try and line up with him so that he doesn't need to turn without pushing me to the edge of the arena. Because if I'm not lined up with him along the center line, he's not going to use the slam attack I need him to use. Come on. Do it. I think there's a better way of baiting this guy to do this attack. I just don't know what it is. Ouch. He just wants to run. He just wants to walk at me and do swipes. It's just what he's in the mood for today. He's a very slow guy. Okay, once again, come on. Buddy, work with me, do something. Like, I think it's that I need to be a little bit closer to prompt the attack, but he's just really not in the mood to do the standard thing I need him to do. There it is, finally. Okay. Because of the hit I took, I only got the one pop. I don't usually see him rear up again immediately afterwards either. So that removed, like, the latter half of my damage cycle on him. Whee! There's a slam. That guy is syncing up his shots like a frickin' rock star. They're not usually this coordinated. Slam. Slap. So our gold pine resin wore off a while ago, so we don't have that to work with anymore. That's okay. We also don't have to worry about a tail slap anymore, because you don't have that. I think that's his vomit attack. For this one, we have to be on, like, the absolute far side of the arena, because it covers just a tremendous amount of space. Ouch. I'm getting sniped all over the place. Still, this is a nice classic Dark Souls 1 boss, so we don't have a second phase or anything. Don't get hit by that. He'll die. He's going up. He's a big fat boy. You can theoretically use the audio cue to know when you need to dodge the magic shots. Take a couple more hits in there because I want to speed up the fight. Now he's going to slam again. See, this is actually him being nice. Get a few hits on his tiny little dragon face. He's going to stomp around. The channeler upstairs is also making, like, various rude decisions about, like, how often he's going to fire and all that crap. Sometimes he just wants to rapid fire. Other times he's gonna, like, sit up there and literally dance. I need to be wary of the Channeler, so I'm only going to take a single hit. Now, see, the Channeler started to pause. He's doing something else for a while. And that'll finish the Gaping Dragon. That nets us the Blighttown key. And we get a Homeward Bone for our trouble as well, which is pretty cool. So there's a couple ways of handling Blighttown. And what I'm going to do is use a Homeward Bone and go back to Firelink first of all. And we're going to take the back door into Blighttown, because it's a good bit faster. While I'm at it, I'm going to pass off the Firekeeper Soul that we got from the Cathedral. Okay. So we take a quick trek down into the new Londo Ruins. But we're only here to use this other elevator. Actually, wait, no, we're not even here to use another elevator. We're here to take this quick staircase across into the Valley of Drakes, which connects us to the back half of Blighttown. We'll want to be careful about these guys. They can hit decently hard. They are subject to backstabs, though, and our weapon's pretty well upgraded. Okay, it's not that well upgraded. So I'm just going to let him be. And we're going to continue onwards. Okay, so this puts us on into Blighttown. This first bit here in the back half has the key to New Londo Ruins, which we're going to want later. So now we're going to start climbing down some stuff. I think I can ignore a decent number of these guys. This area can be pretty dangerous if you slow down or sit still, because there's a bunch of freaking mosquitoes that will make your life a living hell. That's, like, not even really an exaggeration. They're really nasty, man. These guys, with our weapon, we can two-shot, so if we do want to slow down and kill a couple of them, it's okay. Ouch, that is a living one. Okay. Got a little love tap on the back from a mosquito. And I am dragging some corpses around. Thank you, physics. So we're going to drop onto this guy and take this elevator on down. And there is a bonfire that is going to be back along this wall that we need to go tag. Rather, I would like to go tag it. Oh, whoops. I think I might have missed my exit. Oh, well. I think the bonfire is back over this way. Well, I have to kill this guy. Have a good time with it. Yeah, I think the bonfire is back over here. We head over to that. For now, I can avoid being poisoned. I'm not in the mood to get poisoned. And we've got the bonfire back here. I'm gonna light. Unless we can find 1 or 2 purple moss clumps around here. So, we'll see. I'm thinking odds are we get poisoned. Now, if you're legitimately playing Pyromancer, one of these little islands has like a pyromancy trainer that you have to talk to, and you have to buy spells from him down here. It's awful. Are you purple moss? Nope. But hey, that's handy. Okay. So we're gonna go over here. We need to keep an eye on these guys because they can throw rocks. But if you're running, the rock's not gonna hit you. So just manage your stamina to make sure you can keep running. And we're coming up through here. Where we'll be in Quillag's domain for the boss fight. So, poison in Dark Souls 1 is like a tickle. It is basically nothing. There is toxic in Dark Souls 1, and toxic is real. But poison we don't really have to care about. Alright. So now we've got the big spider gal herself, one of the emblematic bosses of Dark Souls, Chaos Witch Quillac. Okay. We do pretty slow damage to her when we attack the legs. Our good damage is from attacking, like, the spider head. But it's most important that we just do some damage. We just want to consistently do some damage. I'm watching the way Quelaag interacts with the spider face, because that's going to telegraph a lot of the attacks that are going to happen. There's one specific attack I need to be very careful of, and the telegraph for that is going to be Quelaag embracing the spider. Ouch. Also, probably try not to get hit by those. That's just a lava breath. Lava breath is a pretty standard behavior, and it represents in many cases one of our best openings. Whoops. That's the embrace. That explosion is lethal. So we do pretty low damage per hit, but since we get about 4 hits per opening, it's not bad. Easy to do some leg stompers. Whoops, that's a whiff. Ouch, that's very painful. I need to back off and get a heal. Thank you for being polite. That's the embrace. For her regular hit sequence, she's gonna, we can kind of tuck in on the spider, and it'll usually go well. Our poison wore off naturally. That's lava breath. If you tuck into the spider too much or take it for granted, she's going to use the embrace attack that causes her to do the giant nova. And as long as you're wary of that and you understand the telegraph, you're fine. If you don't know what you're doing in this fight, the telegraph winds up being pretty subtle, because the spider's not doing anything. This one, we're going to hug the spider. Also, sometimes, if you get bold about hugging the spider, and she goes for the embrace, you can get tangled up in the legs and die. There's the breath. Yeah, the safest way is just to wait for breath attacks and punish those. It's not the fastest. It's not the most glamorous, but hey. Ouch. Got a little bit tagged there. That is okay. We also don't really want to run too far away from Quelaag. If we run too far away, she'll do like a spitting magma leap thing. That's just breath. And if she does that in a couple spots in the arena, it's gonna start getting like tricky to manage where we're standing with all the magma. We really like for her to spend a lot of time just doing like these long, slow fire stabs. And there's Quelaag. She's not really vulnerable to bleeds, so the reinforced club is not the most exciting weapon to use against her. But we get the job done. He's a very by-the-books boss, and usually a lot nicer than the Gaping Dragon. The Gaping Dragon can really stall us out on some behaviors. Because there's like a couple different ways we can engage with and hit Quelaag. If you're playing a bow-only run, or certain spellcasting runs, you can either angle your spell upwards, or another thing you can do is you can aim your bow upwards with manual aiming. If you hit Quelaag on her human body, she'll go into a lengthy stagger animation. So, we need to knock this down, talk to this guy. Oh, sorry, wrong answer. Do I not get another chance? Oh boy. Well, in that case, we will kill him. Sorry about that, buddy. I got killed by the maggots. Oh boy. I need the bonfire behind him. Ah. I answered a dialogue wrong, and I might lose 50,000 souls over it. So, right, well, he stays dead. The maggots that show up from his corpse will not spawn. And we can rest at this bonfire. Now that we've rested at the bonfire, it will be available for teleporting later. Alright, so we're going to continue on through here. See, this bonfire is never available for teleporting, if I remember correctly. It's also possible that I'm remembering wrong and going out of my way for no reason. 6 of 1. So we're going to run down here and take care of another boss who is killed in a scripted sequence. And I'm pretty sure this is a mandatory boss. I don't think there's any way of getting around doing something about this. So this boss, if you fight him legitimately, so to speak, slaps super flippin' hard. And that makes him very difficult to deal with. Even casually, I struggle with this boss a lot, if I'm not using the scripted kill mechanic. But this is kind of a neat, like, older gimmick boss. This is Ceaseless Discharge. And he's kind of responsible for a lot of the magma that's around here. He has been warped by the Chaos Flame, and he's all kinds of weird. Pretty sure it's a guy. I think it's a he. So anyway, this is the tomb of his sister, who we are going to pillage. He gets, like, frustrated and sad seeing this, and the first thing he's gonna do, logically of course, is rip his own arm off. We need to stand back while he's ripping off his arm, because when he rips up his arm, there's a spurt of magma that can kill us. Now that he's done that, we should be running back this way, and we should have plenty of time to get out of range. And we're just going to run all the way back towards the fog door. So if you die in this first attempt and you come back into the boss room, he will be aggressive immediately, and you will not be in the scripted sequence. The scripted sequence requires that you tag his sister's grave. Yeah, he rips his arm off to get more reach. So we're just going to come out over here and kind of hang. And we're going to switch our armor set. There we go. So he can't really reach us walking on the lava, so he's going to come over here with a big old leap. And he's going to hold on as long as he can with every last bit of spite before he tumbles off the cliff face and falls to his death. And this this removes a lot of the lava flow. It starts to cool because there's no longer this big chaos fiery dude. So we need that to be done for later so that we can go down deeper into the ruins. But we're not going to bother with that right now. There's nothing in the ruins that we immediately need. And now we're going to try to make our way out the way we came in. So this armor set that we're wearing now, we made the change because the Gold Hem Black set is not upgradable, and it is it's considered like a special armor class, or a special armor. So it has notably high baseline values and is fairly light to wear. So it's not going to encumber our rolls, even for a non-statted character, and it's going to give us fairly good resistances, especially resistance to fire and poison. Head on up. As before, we're going to try and make a quick clip through here so that we are not too heavily harassed by mosquitoes. The mosquitoes are able to traverse, like, up and down. They can change their verticality, but their methods for doing so are pretty jank. That little alcove over there, we can go into if we want. We have to deal with a lot of toxin shooters if we want to do that. But in exchange, we could get a Firekeeper soul that would make our Estus flasks better. It's very tempting. And there actually is another detour that I'm considering taking to make my Estus flask better. Yeah, I think we're going to do it. I would like my Estus flask to be at a +2 for the next upcoming areas. Is it here? Okay. So there is a thin land bridge here with a couple of ghosts. We get a Firekeeper soul. And a couple of ghosts spawn behind you as you try to make your way back out. Or rather, they spawn on your way in. Oh yeah, ghosts are really nasty for several reasons. They have a grab attack that has very peculiar hitboxing. They can also move up and down, passing through all manner of terrain. So you can have ghosts that are in walls and attacking you that you may not necessarily be able to hit back because your weapons will be clanking on the walls. It's awful. So there's a whole lot more stuff back there involving ghosts that we'll have to come back and do later, but I'm not going to bother with it now. So we'll hand him the large ember. We will modify our reinforced club. The modification automatically makes it a +6. That's super cool. And I believe we have one large... Okay, so we need 2 large Titanite shards at least. And he does not have those available to buy. We'll pick up the Crest of Artorias, which is handy. We won't have to worry about it later. And because I haven't had one this entire time, I'm thinking of buying a shield. Just gotta check.